Hello and welcome to Lord Lukan. It's time to lock down the kids and dose up grandma because we're going back to the 90-day fiancé. For the 90 days. Keep an eye on this one.
Yeah, you're delusional.
And this one's a bit cheeky. But don't forget. Good day, beautiful viewer. Pleasure to see you. And a whole lot of love to the members of the Lukan Manor. The first dally in the spotlight belongs to Misha and...
the love of my life, and...
Have you ever noticed that there are people who bear close resemblances to animals? Dogs, cats, otters, cats, and, alpacas. Because when I see Janet, I just think piranha. Anyways, the couple have spent their first night together. So, did you two get up to any naughtiness?
I did hop over in Nicola's bed.
Oh, cheeky. Oh, and let's play a quick game of who wore it better, Misha or Gino. Anywho, so the two shared a teeny tiny bed for a little bit. Anything happen, Janet?
Kissing and hugging, of course, but no like a scene or something like that, no.
Ah, so you didn't go about coveting the neighbor's goat then? Well done you. But there's a little spilling of the beans by Misha, who says they got down to some heavy petting.
Heavy petting?
Bless him. You have to take it slow with him, I mean, it has been 16 years.
He said, oh, me, 2 minutes.
And this morning they're getting ready to go out. And Misha's pretending like she's done ironing before.
Nico, you didn't sleep last night?
No.
Once they're ready...
And now it's the time for action.
Oh yeah, I like this Janet. He's much more assertive and fun. Let's go crazy, 48-year-old virgin style. Yeah, and that was it. Steady on now. We're on the verge of being vaguely exciting. But just a crap on their carnival. Problems arise when Misha mentions...
meeting your mom and your family.
Which is greeted with the old liars, I-E-I-E.
Well,
Misha's clearly played this game before, because she hands out a dose of this expression. But it goes a little deeper than that.
Not really.
You haven't told them that
No.
I'm here in Israel?
No.
Janet's not even told his family about Misha, aside from the small one, apparently.
So another one does not even know I exist.
And Janet's very apologetic about it.
No.
But this is a big deal breaker for Misha. She needs to get the full picture before she can commit herself to the engagement. But Janet isn't giving us transparency vibes. And that's enough for these two for now. Bloody hell, what's that coming over the hill? Ah, sorry Tyrae, couldn't hear you over that t-shirt. So it's back to Modesto, California to see this young man, whose reality checks just keep on bouncing. Just to recap, he met someone called Carmela. They've been dating for 4 years, but have never met. When he tried to meet her in Barbados once, she didn't even bother showing up. And now it turns out it was a catfish called Christian.
I don't know how the last 4 years could be a lie.
And in fact, that's already happening on something called the internet.
But even though the production team, his sister, and even Carmela themselves have told him that it's all a hoax, he still has some belief that it's all just a bit of a kerfuffle.
But the more I think about it, the more I think it's a misunderstanding.
You do have to feel a little bit sorry for him, though. The Carmela character gave him everything he wanted, and he's the only one in the relationship going through the process of a heartbreaking split. And coming to terms with the idea that it's not going to be all right in the morning is probably harder than holding on to false hope.
That's the thing, that I still kind of think that it might be her. I do. I still have that hope in my heart.
He then comes up with story number 702 about how she may be unable to talk to him.
But I was also maybe thinking, what if, Carmela was, in prison or something?
Sure, why not? Maybe she was a secret agent, and she's been burned so she can't contact him. Maybe she's balls deep in henchmen right now, fighting to save the planet from a slow and unnecessarily complicated death ray. Or maybe she's just a bloke called Christian and she's been totally scamming him. And I wholeheartedly agree with the sister when she says... But why stop with being in prison? Why not just add a bunch of other details so you could really immerse yourself in that fantasy?
This is what happened. She got released. Maybe she got out and maybe her husband found out or something.
In comes the sister to check the pulse on that reality.
Yeah, you're delusional.
And hopefully she's got something that will convince Tyray that it's not worth holding on to anymore.
I found some stuff that he needs to know.
And here's where Tyray seems to get the message a little bit more clearly.
This is an escort page.
Well, there you have it. The images of Carmela came from an escort profile. Now, you or I may come to the conclusion that this is just the source of the images that Christian used to catfish Tyray. But that's not quite what Tyray is thinking. Now he thinks that Carmela is an escort that works not far from where he lives.
In Bakersfield?
In Bakersfield, California.
What the?
No, that doesn't mean it's her, Tyray. And you can hear him thinking about booking her, can't you? But bless him. In his heart, he's seeing the love of his life as an escort. The woman to whom he pledged his little soul, in his mind, is now out polishing the bed knobs around California. It'd be strange meeting someone who you feel like you know intimately for 4 years, but they have no idea who you are. And it's all a bit much for Tyray, who goes off to find someone or something to blame.
Phone, man. This phone got me all this.
Yeah, bloody phone, it's all your fault. But you know, he runs back there and gets it about 2 seconds later, don't you? And while he's huffing about, we're off to see Dave and his pocket rocket. And Dave is making some startling observations.
Look different and not same here in America.
Yeah, it does that. So they go to get some food and, he puts her on a table. Because if you don't look awkward enough standing, you might as well stand up so everyone can see you. Presumably so they can continue talking awkwardly. Slightly nearer some pictures, I don't know. So, what do you fancy for dinner tonight? I don't know. How about some of those manky old ball things you've got sitting about? Nice.
Oh, duara kadubo.
Ooh, adobo.
Kadubo.
Sounds fancy. It's actually a Spanish dish traditionally, but in the Philippines it's like a kind of stew. But before that, we need to watch Dave drain the weasel. Yeah, thanks TLC, we totally needed to see that. I've got to say, I love the ASL for poop. But she can do sign language too, you know.
I love you.
Then totally gives up. But she tried, damn it. That's more than a Scott did. Or Nicole. Or DB. Or Chris. Or Linda. Or, well, you get the idea. And with that, the conversation flows. And then some action happens. Well, she wasn't sure if he was chatting to her or had an itch. We'll leave these two to soak up the atmosphere and grab an Uber to see...
Gilo, Gino. Gino.
And today, Gino has escaped into the wild after his argument with Jasmine. The whole prenup topic has really knocked the wind out of his relationship, so he's headed to a local bar. The thing about Gino is that he'd leave him alone for 2 seconds. He'd either do something silly or totally lose control of his body and make involuntary noises. But right now, Gino's got to tell the teacher all about it.
Jasmine's saying a lot of hurtful things to me.
Oh, poor Gino. He's not always been a bald twat, you know. He was a twat with hair once. So Gino is playing it cool with the barmaid and says...
So I figure I need one of these.
Yeah, that's the face of a man enjoying that minuscule sip that he took. So the barmaid goes on about something about cultural misunderstanding, and Gino buys it all up. So Jasmine goes out too. She's off to a restaurant with a friend and has a right good cry about it. She's all distraught because...
The worst thing you could do to me is rejecting me.
When she was divorced before, she was left with nothing, and she doesn't want to be in a foreign country and be helpless. You could say they were both so concerned with protecting their financial interests that they forgot to take an interest in what the other person was protecting themselves from. But then you could say, well, she's just upset because she nearly lost a cash cow. You could say, he's just upset because he needs to feel like he's in control of at least one thing in his life, and his nest egg was that. And he lacks the confidence to believe that she really loves him. After all this time, you got to imagine that they do actually love each other. Is it the kind of love that you and I might recognise? Well, I hope not. It's a busted up, flimsy and mostly mystifying love, but it's their love. And whilst I don't always agree with their love, I'd defend, with somebody else's life, their right to love in whatever padded cell kind of way they want to. Right, on now to the Rylinator. And Violet has made some plans for herself today, so Riley's calling up the woman he probably should be with.
Hey.
That reminds me of a joke. What do you feed 3 gay horses?
Hey.
And she has some pretty good things to say.
Don't be a wuss.
Absolutely.
You know, my prayer to you is that, you don't have scrambled eggs.
Okay, yes, eggs. Well, I think Gino's the only one scrambling any eggs around here at the moment, but Riley has bought a ring, and it's definitely not an engagement ring. While he does that, we're off to see the Amanda bot. Beep bop boop. And they're all annoyed because Razvan wants to play at musicians, take his clothes off and kiss all the girls. And Amanda, well, she's not prepared to share a slice of her Romanian smile. So Razvan goes for the victim card and a Grammy for Best Dramatic Scene, all at once.
No.
But does the Amanda bot's sensors pick up the deception? Nope. Hang on, this emotion is new to the Amanda bot's programming. She must investigate and report her findings.
Why are you so emotional right now?
Why do you cry?
So Amanda bot asks him to listen to how she's programmed to feel.
I always listen to your feelings.
Well, there's a distinct difference between listening to the words that have been spoken and hearing what somebody's saying. Anyway, it's not about what she feels. Razvan is busy playing for attention and sympathy to get out of his situation. It's all about his victimhood right now. So if you could just stop trying to balance the conversation, that'd be great, thanks.
Feel like you just disconnect with me.
Okay, so he's making her feel bad for disconnecting, which she only did because he was rushing to get to the US. He's saying that she'll act just like his toxic ex, who is just not prepared to take the pressure of putting up with certain elements of his job, and essentially has now gaslit the Amanda Bot 3000 into thinking it's her being unreasonable. This sounds like a great relationship, but does she swipe the victim card?
I'm sorry if I was like distant to you.
Yes, she does.
Are we okay?
Yes.
He's just a bit of a bastard, really, isn't he? Even down to the part where he's talking about the ex-wife. I mean, her husband only died from cancer. It's not like she left him because of his life choices. That's clearly much more dramatic. And that draws us to the close of the episode. It's been a pleasure as always. Please check out the Lord Lukan Discord and consider joining the membership for exclusive content. Till we meet again, you beautiful person. Stay beautiful. Love to my three. You take care of yourself.